Well, welcome back to 11 Alive News at 4. More than 1.1 million Georgians have already cast their votes early. We're talking 4 days here.
Yeah, that number just coming out not too long ago.
Yes.
That means 15% of active voters have already cast their ballots. So the big voting in this push is coming as both major presidential candidates are planning more visits to Metro Atlanta, showing just how much power Georgia has this election cycle. Former President Donald Trump at a Cobb County event, and Vice President Kamala Harris will be joined by Atlanta music icon Usher for a rally tomorrow. The VP is expected to attend a church service at one of Atlanta's largest churches, New Birth Missionary Baptist, on this Sunday.
That's right. 11 Alive Joe Ripley is joining us live from DeKalb's election headquarters. So, Joe, we see candidates campaign in the Black church. Why is it important for them during the election cycle?
Yeah. That's right, Faith. And first off, we want to give you an update here. The voting process here, early voting seems to be pretty smooth here at DeKalb County's election headquarters. Meantime, as you mentioned, historically, the Black church has played a critical role in educating voters and getting them to actually go to the polls. Meantime, New Birth Missionary Baptist Church is undergoing security screenings ahead of Vice President Kamala Harris's visit, and she plans to speak about breast cancer awareness. It is October after all, but she might want to bring up a few other issues from the pulpit as well. Maggie Green heads to the polls in part to pay homage to her ancestors.
I didn't have that privilege when I was a young girl growing up in Mississippi. And my mother and father didn't have that privilege. And I cry because it was a struggle for them to vote.
From past struggles, enduring name calling and voter suppression, to casting her vote today.
I'm a sharecropper's daughter. I came from that era where my parents and everybody in the community would leave the cotton field, go to the church, and talk about their rights.
Both presidential candidates will look to the pews to drive people to the polls this election.
We are welcoming Kamala Harris as vice president, not as a candidate.
Reverend Jamal Bryant is senior pastor of New Birth Missionary Baptist Church, where Vice President Kamala Harris is set to visit Sunday.
We have a moral and a biblical and a spiritual responsibility to let the community know what is at stake and what's on the line.
I think it's helpful to encourage people to vote, especially in the church.
Caleb Gordon understands the role the church has played over time, especially when it comes to exercising civil rights.
Black men can always vote at one time. I think I said that earlier too. I think that's even more reason why we should vote and take advantage of it. I don't look at people any differently because of how they vote.
Maggie Green knows about the sacrifices made so voters could stand in line and make their voices heard. She says the important part is that people go out and vote.
And they died for us. So get out and go and vote. It's your privilege, it's your right.
We do want to note tonight, earlier this summer, former President Donald Trump visited a Black church in Detroit, Michigan, another key swing state, that could help decide this presidential election. I did ask Reverend Jamal Bryant if he would be open to inviting former President Trump to his church, New Birth. He said the former president is welcome to attend. We're live in DeKalb County. Joe Ripley, 11 Alive News.
All right, Joe, we'll see if he takes up that invitation.